We are live.
We're live, guys. Uh,
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of where we try to build shit. So this time we have a guest with us. Actually, he's our team member who's just come from the dead. He's arise from the dead again. He's our Maniac developer, Ajit. And in this episode, mainly he's going to be walking us through what he has done. Like he set up the basic framework and the template for the AI application that we are building. So let's see.
also, let's give everybody a little bit of context about why he's a maniac. Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
நம்ம அந்த வீடியோ ஒன்று அமிச்சிங்கல்ல just one guy he just smokes a blunt and he just goes all night for like 8
Bro, that
hours.
guy is a legend, bro. I don't think Arjit is on that level yet.
இன்னும் வரல.
Yeah.
Just a matter of time. Okay. Just a matter of time. திடீர்னு he'll go AWOL. திடீர்னு he'll be like, bro, I'm working uh, these hours. Just let me know if you guys need anything. Okay. திடீர்னு see நம்ம யூஎஸ்ல இருக்கிறோம், நமக்கு டே டைம்ல வந்து ஒர்க் நடக்கும்.
Hey, that guy doesn't sleep, man, sometimes because I've lived with him for a couple of days. That's what I noticed. Like, see, Nala வந்து பக்காவா I'll go sleep at like 10 o'clock and then like wake up 11, 12 and then I'll wake up properly in the morning. This guy, he'll be like, yeah, bro, I'm going to work for some time and then I'll sleep அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு நான் தூங்க போயிருவேன். அப்புறம் இவன் நான் நைட்டு சடனா I'll wake up at like 3 or 4, just to take a piss or something, and then this guy will still be up. And the next day morning, I'll wake up at like 8 a.m. and then scale still be up. Hey, you didn't sleep? No, I didn't sleep.
Ajit, how do you feel about this introduction for yourself?
Introduction
ஒரு
வந்து
இன்டர்வியூ எல்லாரையும்
ஸ்லீப் பண்றோமா இல்லையாங்கிறது மேட்டர் இல்ல. அது ஸ்லீப் பண்ணாம நம்ம என்ன பண்றோங்கிறது தான் மேட்டர். பெருசா ஒண்ணும் பண்றது இல்ல. அதனால இன்னும் அவ்வளோ லெவலுக்குலாம் நம்ம ரீச் ஆகலன்னு எனக்கு தெரியும். பட் என்ன தூக்கம் வர மாட்டேங்குது, அவ்வளவுதான்.
இல்ல ப்ரோ, திடீர்னு ஒரு நாள் கூப்பிடுவேன். ஓகே, நான் இன்னைக்கு நடந்துச்சு இது. ஓகே, வந்து ஒரு ஐ திங்க் அரௌண்ட் மை டைம் போல்டர் எம்எஸ்சி டைம் 5 பிஎம்க்கு நான் வந்து ஐ saw him message something on the group. நான் பாட்டு யோசிக்காம I just gave him a call. Then I realized shit, it's 4:30 in the 4:30 a.m. in India. தெரியாம கூப்பிட்டு உடனே கட் பண்ணிட்டேன். He's calling back immediately.
முடிச்சுட்டு தானே இருந்தேன் அப்போ நான்.
I am like, okay, bro, are you sure you're okay? அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு தூக்கம் வரலடா அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு just started talking. Like, okay, fine.
Bro, I am and all. If I can't sleep for like 7 hours, no, nothing. I would sleep for 8 hours. Only if I sleep for 8 hours, I'll be functional.
I mean, same.
I can do away with 2 minimum. I can do away with 2. Not for daily, but at times I can do it.
And that is why you're dubbed the maniac dev.
Bro, that not is gift, man. I think there is like, there's a certain population, or a fact so long, like there's a certain population who can like get away with sleeping less. And I think like he's part of that.
Fair, 100%. Like, bro, I could not imagine myself doing that. In could I had work. I told my boss, I'm taking off. Sorry, today, last night I worked late. என்னால முடியல அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. And he was like, okay, fine. But yeah, moving on. So, Ajit, do you
Okay.
want to
I was not there
speed?
for 15 to 16 seconds. Correct?
You were not there for?
Yeah, were you able to hear me all the way? That's fine.
We were able to hear you. Your audio and video are not in sync, but I think it's okay. Like, if people are just
It's
going to
okay.
see.
Okay, I'm presenting my screen. Okay, I'm just presenting my screen. I'm just
Uh,
presenting our motion page.
done. நீங்க present that alone, and I will just make sure it's all on screen visible.
Okay, you can see this. So I'll just go through whatever we did for the past 3 days, and then we can just.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I really like that you have day 1, day 2, day 3. By the way, like every day, you go to blog post மாதிரி. It's actually really nice. And I think he's frozen. Is he frozen? No, you're not frozen. You're
No,
good.
not
You're good.
Okay. All right. So, like whatever we were trying to build before, right? First day, what I did is basically I listed down what we want to do. Okay, like what are the tools that is available to us, and then I did ஸோ இது என்னன்னா ரெண்டு பார்ட்டா இருக்கும். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து வாட் இஸ் த பிளான், அப்ரோச் இஸ் பேசிக்கலி வாட்ஸ் த பிளான், and execution is what we are doing during that, whatever errors that we are facing. I try to document it then and there so that we know like where we have gone wrong or what we have to do differently and all. It works. This format actually works better than the other formats that we were doing for other hackathons. முன்னாடிலாம் we were grouping resources by their type, and then we were grouping resources by different categories, and we were doing it right. Rather than that, if we can just create logs of what we are doing, அது வந்து அங்கேயே we can put whatever resources we found out. Now it is easier to manage, and later on we can organize. Once we are done with everything, we can organize into whatever way we are doing. So அதனால this format worked really well for me, because we didn't have to think too much on okay where do I put this and all, அந்த ஒரு இது வரும். அதனால it worked better. uh, First thing what I did was I wanted to find something that can help us to build this faster. Whatever
Okay.
idea you guys were discussing in last stream, uh, I knew like okay how the UI is going to look, but beyond that, how we have to interact with an existing AI model, or how do you make API calls? Like this was the constant question that I was asking you guys as well, like in the group, you remember, right? Hey, how do I connect it? What's the protocol? Do they have REST API? Right. This is what I kept on asking. And most time in the pieces, how to put them together was not very clear. So first thing what I was looking for was or a template madri, what we can use to get started. Like, okay, I can get started on this, build my prototype on this, then figure out how I can build this on my own. Because making REST API calls like from scratch would have taken us a lot of time to figure things out and set things up. Thankfully, that's where this project, whatever the Versal Labs have set up, comes in. I found this in their gallery of AI projects that they are having. Enana, it is kind of lost in it's kind of lost in the other open AI projects that they have already set up. But since we were going with Google Gemini, and this was the only project that they had over there. So this was a good find, I would say. They have already set up an end-to-end project that is working, where you just have to add your own Google API key, and you can just directly deploy. They have taken care of all the API integrations. They have taken care of, like streaming the chat response that we are getting from the Google AI. It's not like they make the call, they get the response, and then UI ல சும்மா stream பண்றாங்கன்னு இல்ல. It is the exact streaming that you get from Google Gemini that they are streaming directly on the UI as well. So இந்த things எல்லாம் நம்ம from scratchல இருந்து build பண்ணோம்னா it will be very difficult for us. So that's where this project was very much helpful. So இதுல wait one second, let's see. This is the project that they have already deployed. Right. This is the project that we will use to build our idea as well. Either the core vechite, we can understand how this is going and all. So my first task was to see how we will use this. So that's what I put down. Then I wanted to see like for our use case, we want some components that is different. Right. This is not the same use case as what we are going with. We are going with completely different use case. This just helps you to kind of book slides and things like that. But ours is more on finding new businesses in your area that can help you achieve certain tasks, right? That's the thing that we are going with. So that's when I thought, okay, Varun had already shared about V0, but I also came across this for the first time properly, and we can use good components, whatever we want. It gets your basic components started. So they also use Tailwind, Chassis, and UI and all. So Adanala, it fits nicely into our existing toolkit of libraries that we are already using. So we thought we will go with that. Then what I thought we can do is once we have finalized it end to end, then we can use this next UI for our completely revamping the site, because I like what they are offering in terms of AI is concerned.
Okay.
So their
Okay.
pro version has already AI pre-built components, right? But we don't need to pay for pro version and get AI pre-built components because those things we can build ourselves if we have the basic components in place. So they are also tailwind based now, which is again another plus for going with this library. And they have little bit more mature components, more stylized components, and all. So your UI will look more modern, like a real AI, how other AI applications are looking these days. So they are accessible and they have dark mode support, everything, right?
Can I
So
click on Figma?
existing,
The Figma tab in there.
yeah, yeah, sure.
What do they have?
They are giving the toolkit so that you can directly design and then we can use this as part of our UI.
Bro, this is amazing. No, I think I should probably use this as my design system from now on whenever I'm designing applications.
Honestly,
Yeah, that will be, yeah.
I'll check this out. I'll make a mental note to check this out. I've
Yep.
become the in-house
So
design expert, even though I'm not the design expert.
bro,
you are the designer.
you are the design expert. That's all it is. We don't have it.
Oh, they have everything, man. They've done
They
a
have all the
very
components already set up, right?
comprehensive. They've done a comprehensive design system.
Yep. You have all the checkbox, avatar, everything is there. We can just use it whenever you're creating it. And then we can add those components directly from the library. I think all states and all colors they have covered there.
Yeah, they have all variants.
This is actually really, really nice.
Very
Then what is
comprehensive.
there on the Ask AI? What does that do?
This one, I think it's the doc thing. Like instead of your usual command K, they are integrated with AI. So you can ask questions here, descriptive questions here that will give you like what exactly you have to do here.
Is there okay? Can you? We got a comment. Okay, fine. Uh, we have viewers, guys. By the way, so
Okay.
can you? Okay, yeah, just do what you're doing. So I'm just curious as to how this works.
Let's see what it
I was kind of expecting this.
is. LLM for next UI with access to developer docs. So I think it's just
So,
limited to the documentation.
okay, see now my question is: you mentioned that Next UI has is very good in terms of the AI components, right? So what exactly does that
Yes.
mean? Like, what components do they offer
Okay.
that works with what works
So
for us?
that comes part of the pro version actually. Okay. In
Mhm.
their pro version, which is a paid thing, you have. Let me just go explore components. Yeah, you have different domains that they are trying to offer. Adila ஒரு domain is AI. With
Oh,
AI, they give you this entire, like your chat and with some kind of, let's say, some sliders to change the parameters. And this is already pre-built. This entire thing is pre-built for you. You can
uh,
just use this and then you can do, right? This is what they mean by AI component. So you can change your model, whatever model that you're talking to, and all of that. And pretty much it's open AI kind of UI now. They are offering everywhere. But you give like based on their components that they are already offering in their normal version. அதை வச்சு they have built a big இது
okay.
அவ்வளவுதான்.
Did you check out Google AI Studio?
Yeah, I checked it out. I have it. I have it open as well, I think. It looks similar, na, but it looks more user friendly than that one. One second. Where is the Google AI, right? Yeah, this one.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one. It looks like very similar. Like you can remove components, whatever you want, and you can still play around with it.
Mm, makes sense. Makes sense.
So they give you that's what the UI for their pro version. So இதுலயே வந்து they have two, three different variants. And
Oh,
the thing is, it's all responsive and everything works out of the box, all of that. That's why people might pay for it.
right. That makes
They
sense.
have different things, like
So
just opening
Tailwind
it,
also
starting.
has this thing called Tailwind Labs, right? I don't know if you.
Uh,
Yeah, Tailwind Labs is also a paid component library, and they also give you this. I think, if I'm not wrong, Tailwind Labs has a plan where they will build the required the components that you require for a fee.
hmm,
A certainty
okay,
that also does. That guy also has a similar service, right? And it's like what,
got it,
four thousand
got it,
dollars for one time development. So it was actually nice, nice things and all.
got it.
Oh, they are the creators of
Right.
Tailwind CSS.
Who is? Oh yeah, this is by the Tailwind Labs. Is by the creator of the Tailwind CSS. Yes, but yeah, okay,
So
fine.
yeah, this is what that's what the idea was. So like அவங்க நிறைய ஆஃபர் பண்றாங்கன்னு ரொம்ப கிளியராவே இருக்குல்ல. So அதனால I was like, let's go with this. Like
Mm,
it's good library and lot of people suggesting this as well அப்படின்னு சொல்லி.
right.
Right. Then what I did is I just cloned it and the clone project I can show you. Just a second. My system will hang for a bit. Okay, whenever I'm opening new applications, I don't know why that's happening. But I'll just show.
We are getting some supporting comments. Okay, fine. Are you guys able to see the comments and
Yeah,
views?
yeah, I can see the comments. Are those your friends or something?
Okay, fine. Uh,
Are they your friends?
At this point,
yeah,
anyone
you met both of
who
them,
joins
didn't
this.
What?
you? Met both of them, Renu and Yadu.
Oh, okay,
You're playing
okay.
Among Us together, and Raj. Hey, bro.
Your chat, what do you think of Farhan?
Day. Sorry, okay. Okay, coming back. Uh,
No, I don't mind. We can talk about Farhan also.
no, it's all right. It's all right. We can move back to this. Uh,
Okay, one second. Just switching stuff.
yeah, just make sure the .env is not visible.
Not ENV.
Okay, well,
Last team was a nightmare because of that, by the way.
okay. Right. So this is a project that they have actually given, right? I just cloned it, I ran it locally, and
Mm-hmm.
then like it worked out of the box. Then I deployed it to our hey hi Venkatesh. So we just tried to run it, and I deployed to Versal as well. அந்த Versal deploymentல தான் வந்து நிறைய problems வந்துச்சு ஆக்சுவலா
Oh,
because I wasn't like prepared for it. So like I had to uh, like many times it did not work. There were a lot of அவங்களோட TypeScript was having some build issues. I don't know why it didn't work for them. Maybe because I also added our project to the configuration. We have gone like our previous hackathons, we have used certain configs, right? So on the
Yeah.
configs I've added as part of this repository, and another it's like it started failing a lot. Then I had to fix all of those things, and then I forgot about env variables. Then finally we added and I deployed it. So whatever is in local, that's the same thing. Sorry, whatever is in their project, that's the same thing that's deployed to uh, our our in the project as well. It's exactly the same thing. I've not customized any of the functionalities yet. I mean, I've customized it, but I've not deployed it
makes sense.
yet.
Yeah, I
It,
get that.
Also, one more customization I did was that this part, right? This component was actually given to me by V0. So I just worked on that V0 part as well. And the Varun sonala V0 some library, not
Yeah,
library
v
tool.
zero dot dep.
I'm actually curious as to
Yes,
how that works.
I tried it, but it
it
wasn't
did.
that great though. It just gave you some basic design.
Okay, got
Wait,
it.
I will show you what it gave me. Okay,
Oh, that was your prompt, generative AI application that lets users input their whatever, like daily.
yes, this was my prompt. Yes.
Okay. And I think he's frozen again. I hope he comes back.
Yeah, I
Correct.
tried v zero,
Generative
but
AI application.
No, you're back. You're good. You're good. I
that
think.
lets
Location.
users.
Yeah. The output is
Okay.
three cards, okay, with
Okay.
thumbnail as map location, joined
Immediate.
in order of the visit,
Mm-hmm.
and body containing the okay, body containing names of the businesses. Okay, something I gave like that,
Okay.
and it gave me these three different
Oh.
gave me these three different stuff. Okay,
Okay.
and for one of those, this is the A one, right? Where I like this component. I
Mm.
just used it directly. I didn't even like do anything. Um, and
I know.
okay,
Why are
yeah,
you guys laughing? I'm not
comments.
seeing the.
No, the comments. The comments. So it gave suggestions like this. Okay, well, I like this one, right? Route one, and then start at these locations to complete. It gave like three
Ah.
different suggestions. Okay, wow, this was nice. And it asked like enter your tasks and generate suggestions. This was like one plain thing that it gave,
Okay.
and the other one was this B. It was good actually. I just wanted or a small card. Okay, we can use this actually, just the card part, right?
Mm.
And see all of these
So how
subtitles
is
or
this
whatever
code?
this.
How is this code different from the code you get on Figma with that extension?
See, from Figma, you get whatever components that they have. It's like plain vanilla components. But you will have to actually put this together to get code from Figma. But
Yeah,
what Visual does it puts it together for you. That's it. And it chooses the right combination of components, like what is good for the title and what is good for the subtitle, all of that, it just picks on its own. Either we can customize, like we can put the logo of the shop here, some
Mm.
things like that, and then we can. And in the subtitles, generative AI can generate it for you. Like it'll be good. Like even if the shop itself does not have a subtitle or a tagline, generative AI, we can ask the engine to generate it, and it will happily generate it for you,
Right.
right? And the other one
yeah.
was this. This
The
also I
code
like.
on the code is it readily usable? Like because Figma also you
Yeah,
get a
I'm
code.
assuming it is actually. Yeah.
yeah, it is extremely plug and play. Like it gives you proper inputs and it gives you the exact like the classes. And the best part is Figma when we are doing, right, we might not group the components correctly. Like the
Yeah,
designer
yeah,
might not group the components correctly. Like it might not be in the same flex. It might not be in the visually it will look good for a particular
yeah,
one
yeah,
second.
yeah. I
And
get it.
I think to add to what Arthur
Um,
was saying, right? Like Figma வந்து you only get. I'm assuming not very Next.js specific code. V0 is for Next.js by Next.js by
yeah,
Next,
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
right? So Next.js specific
Uh,
code you get as well as Tailwind components, which
Tailwind. I think the Tailwind classes also look proper. I don't think you can get that, and you can try and get that using that plugin in Figma, but still, I don't think it'll be perfect because it depends on how you are designing it.
100%.
You have to use proper components. You have to use proper layouts so that it all appears in like one.
Right.
Even if it's visually proper, you have to structure the layers in the correct way.
Hmm. Makes sense. Makes
So
So
sense.
it's
this
giving
is
this as expected, and also the dev integration is extremely good. Like you just need one command to import all of this into your code, right?
So I'm guessing this is like integrating Shadcn. right? You just
Yeah.
okay, I see. Got it, got it, got it. Yes, Reno,
So
these are
that's the first.
you're right. But go on. Uh,
Okay, so let's go back to the canvas once. Yeah. So I like this also, like where you get the different parts. So the idea was I wanted to put the the journey map, like the map plotted with the points on the card or the thumbnail, like this over here. Okay, and then the list of the businesses below, so that you know which one is like okay now one is straight too far away, or all of these are closely located. You can look at each one of them and then directly select. So
mm,
that was the idea, and this V0 gave me a good starter components. I would say, like it gave me some ideas to think about how the UI can look.
yes.
Other learners we can build on top of it, and I just wanted to integrate this part alone and see how it will look. So that's what is already deployed on the site, not this one. Our site. Where was that? I forgot.
It's prophesize age 8 dot Vassal dot app.
Yes. I don't know why age 8 came.
No, my even for Zaplink, for linked list actually before we renamed it to Zaplink, or when I moved it from the team or the organization account to my account, it became linked list dash NU. I for some reason like a dumb fuck like thought it was Northeastern University. I'm like, how does it know? Then I realized it's just random assignment. It was just a coincidence. But yeah, I was a dumb
Yep.
kid. But moving on.
Yeah,
Uh,
so I was able to integrate this component there. So this is the only change that's there. It's already deployed. This was what we did on day one. Okay. So day one, not much of code. It's just taking things and more of planning, like how I want the UI to look and how what things we have that we can use to build this particular UI. Right.
oh,
So let's go back and then day two, what we did. Okay. So day two, I renamed approach to plan because that sounded better. Approach was not correct. And something this something the project was not
he blipped again.
Yeah, he froze.
This is like his letter to, I don't know, Zaplink.
did not
Wait, wait, wait,
I
wait,
know
wait.
it's happening like அப்படியே ரொம்ப intermittent. I don't even know the reason why it's happening. Okay,
Wait,
fine.
wait. Hold
The
on.
thing is I know I'm also getting stuck.
Pause for a second. Pause for a second. Like, I just need to know.
Sure.
Okay, now, okay. Whatever you're talking about, speed out and turn to post, but now you're good. You go for it. Now you can talk.
Okay, fine. Now I can talk. Fine. What I was saying is I also know that I'm getting stuck, so I
Ah,
paused there.
got it, got it. But go for
Okay.
it. Yeah.
uh yes, something was not working. Varun was working on something, and I was working on something. Day two, the project was not running, so I wanted to actually like take some time out and get that fixed. So it was some import and some different issues that was there in code, which is not exactly related. But I have also added the fix, like what was the error of being solved, and the particular comment is the commit ID is also added here. You can check it
Mm.
out here. Nothing. ஒரே ஒரு இதுல it's what the auto imports got imported wrongly. That's the only thing.
Oh, it
இங்க வந்து அது
got.
வெறும் diskல இருந்து வந்துச்சு. It has to be from the. That's it. Just that part.
I remember seeing that
Right.
in Varun's screenshot. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. It's not disturbed
yes,
in
and then lot of things were related to types. Okay, we are following quite a strict type than what the original project is following. So our TypeScript configurations is much more stricter than theirs. So
Mhm.
அதனால, it was the build was failing. What I did is wherever I could fix, I fixed. Then I made it a little bit less intense. The type checking part, I made it little bit less intense so that we don't have to focus on
We will wait.
fixing the type.
You're back. You're back.
Yes. Can I start? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Yeah, that's it. And one more thing is that we need to actually add all of the linting part and everything in our uh, code. Okay, linting for TypeScript and linting and doing a pre-build before we push it to the GitHub. And the pre-commit hooks needs to be set up properly. All the Husky and pre-commit lint state on the package. We
Mm,
need to set that up. Otherwise, the project it will be very very hard to debug like what's going wrong. ஏன்னா we'll end up pushing wrong code and it happened a couple of times for me. ஏன்னா நான் வந்து I didn't check it locally, right? What we need to do, since three of us are working on this, we need to set up this to make sure like this doesn't happen again. Like whatever is breaking, we will catch it before it goes to the GitHub part.
got it.
Okay?
Understood. Makes sense. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's we can do that. We can actually we have done
Go to
something
the
similar
code.
for Uplink, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. I
One
just wanted.
second. You guys carry on. One year.
Yeah, yeah.
Main
So as I
function.
was saying, Varun, we did the same thing for Zaplink. So we have pre-commit hooks that prevent us from just committing typeless code, if I can
Okay.
use those words. So if you just define anything as any or anything, it should catch that. It shouldn't even let you commit to GitHub. But I think we can follow a similar approach there. And wait, what else are we? Wait, let me just open up the Notion page on my side so that we can talk about this while Arjit isn't here. Um, Day 2, right? Hold on. Yeah, so day 2, and wait, I think I should share my screen again.
Yeah, it's still his screen.
Wait, I'm gonna remove his screen, and then I am going to share mine. Share screen. Yeah. What can you see?
Yeah, I can see day 2.
You can see day 2, right? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So now we are at dissecting the code. So yeah, so I really like the way he has documented it. It's like it's just natural. It's just natural language. Okay, fine. So dissecting the code. Let's see what he has written. Main function defining the various supported defining the various various supported UI variants in the chat interface. Basically, mapping between response of AI model and UI component. This will be clearer in a second. Here in the expanded form, we can observe the variety of message display names like show flight, show series. The actual data from AI engine is put inside props. In my opinion, this can be improved as constant. Okay, if I just come here, let's see. This is the response messages that we get from the AI, and okay, if it is an assistant, wait, hold on. 1 second. Oh, you're here.
Yeah.
Arjit, you want to continue back?
That's correct.
No, I
No,
think
no,
you can
we
still. I think you can still share the
Okay,
screen. I think
you're
it'll
on
be
mute.
less strain on his bandwidth.
I don't know if
Yes,
you're on
correct.
mute.
You can share
You're
and I
talking?
can just basically talk
Can't hear
about it.
anything.
You can't hear.
I can
Zero.
hear, man.
Varun, you can
I
hear
can.
me, la.
Yeah, I can hear you. I think it's some problem on
I'm
Karan's
actually
side.
putting you back on screen.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Still can't
Yeah,
hear
I
you.
can hear. I can hear you.
Hmm.
Karan,
Karan, what about you?
on.
I think the entire stream is going to be like, hey, you can hear me, I can hear you.
Yeah, I think we're
You
taking
can
down this
hear. Oh
stream.
wait, is it a problem from my side?
Yeah, because I can hear
Yeah.
him.
Okay, I will rejoin.
Yeah. So what was I saying? This one. Let's click on this. Okay. So அவன் வரத்துக்குள்ள let's see. Basically, how they are building this UI, uh, all this chatbot and everything. Like most, what is the approach that they're following on the front end is basically you're trying to interact with the UI, sorry, AI, right? We are going to get the AI UI வந்து ரொம்ப கன்ஃபியூசிங்கா இருக்கும் போது I'm going to keep using it interchangeably and it's going to get confused. ஏன்னா அவனோட கோட்லயே அப்படிதான் இருக்கான். Get UI state from AI state, AI to UI அப்படிதான் ஃபுல் கோடுமே எழுதிருக்கான். ஓகேவா? So what is happening is you are always interacting with an engine. Ipo, from a UI perspective, you basically need to show this as the plain way. The very simple way is to basically record the interactions with that particular AI engine. So you are going to define certain roles. Okay, you're going to say this is what the AI, which is basically the assistant, is going to do, and then this is the user is going to do. And now there is a third role, which is called the system role. Okay, wow. System role is basically defining the entire context of that particular uh, application. Okay. And then the assistant is the way with which you interact with that particular engine model. So if you want, you can actually add more roles in எனக்கு தோணுது. Like ஒரே AI engine you can create multiple different roles. Like one can be an assistant, then one can be like a mentor or a super assistant that the assistant can take help. The possibilities are endless. Okay. But we are going with a very simpler approach where this is the most used approach in all of the AI applications where you treat AI to be as your virtual assistant, which does something on your behalf or which answers some questions on your behalf, well, not on your behalf, whatever you have. Right. So, this screenshot actually completely gives an overview of all the different roles that you have. So, system role is one, and then you have the assistant role, then you have the user role. So, whatever is the role, based on that we will show a different UI on the chat interface. So இப்போதைக்கு we are going with a chat interface now. Like you will interact, you will have some message from the assistant, and then your message also will go. இதுல என்ன, what is one good thing to observe na, uh, plain way is always you will message all things as text. Okay va, but that's what your normal chat GPT does. Chat GPT, your normal interaction is always with the engine as a text. Now, when you are building your own application on top of any AI model like this, your users are not that advanced. They cannot type their own prompts, and you cannot always expect them to interact with the AI in a way that is intended to. So, the free text input, the user who is interacting with the AI is going to get confused, or they'll be more tempted to give some random queries like, "Hey, who is the president of USA?" and which the AI will still happily answer. Right? They can get derailed from the original context of the application itself. So, adunala, since the users are already accustomed to clicking on buttons and clicking on things whatever they are seen in websites, we will try to create rich responses that are some things that people can interact with. So that
Like
is why
carousels and all, like in chatbot and all, you get carousels, right? Same thing.
exactly அதேதான். We get chatbot carousels, we get like a button to input their mobile number and all of that, because from an AI perspective, you can just still say, "Hey, this is my mobile number," and you can type a number, and the AI is capable of extracting it and storing it. But from a user perspective, we still want to provide them with a input box that restricts them from typing more than 10 characters and all of that from our end, so that the user flow and the journey and all of it is going to be unaffected. So, the responsibility on the front end becomes more, where you kind of create a path for the user to travel in rather than going free text all over the place. Okay.
Yeah.
So three different roles: system, assistant, and user. Right. What exactly they are doing here? This one we'll see in this particular image. One second. How do I open this?
I think you can just zoom in. Like,
I just clicked on this opened up. I don't know.
oh, okay.
Okay, it opens. Now, 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is the bot card and everything that they have.
Yeah. So for each of the different uh, kind of users, are you getting a noise from my end?
No, you're good.
Um, Fine. 1 second. I'll just close it.
So I'm guessing, so show flights and வரும்போது, so you would show the flights number பார்த்தோமே or demoல. So like a list.
நம்ம பார்த்த அதே ஃப்ளோ
Exactly.
தான் அது.
So can you actually show that right now on screen, like so that?
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. Right. So you can either click one of these two to start the chat.
Yeah.
Okay. These two are actually when you click on. So let's see what happens behind the scenes. When you click on this, what happens is a prompt is sent to the AI, and then அது என்ன kind of prompt அப்படிங்கிறது the AI detects. Okay. So
Mhm.
you're saying list flights flying from San Francisco to Rome today. Right. This is sent as a plain text prompt to the AI engine.
Mhm.
Ipo, what happens after that? Let me open this in the code as well, right? Once again, I'll make it smaller so that we can show some more stuff. Um, okay. So you can see here, this is the show flights action or show flights kind of a action now. Let's call it action for now. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why this is called actions.tsx. You're
So
basically defining
my
the
question.
different actions. Yeah, please go ahead.
Here's my question. This show flight. So I come from a dialogue flow background. Okay, in
Correct.
in dialogue flow, you call of these intents. If you can figure, if you know what the intent of that particular prompt is, that
Hmm.
is what you base your responses off of, right? So now,
Correct.
the show flights, show seat picker, show hotels. So these are all messages, but how? Where are we defining these intents?
Got it. Where are we defining this intents is above over in this particular place. I'll just show you in a second.
Okay.
So this is there, right?
Mhm.
So what we are calling this are as a different tools that the AI engine has.
Mm.
Okay. So for example, we have like all of this. So this is the entire definition of our AI model. Okay, it ends here.
Mm.
So what are we doing? இங்க வந்து first the system will go through the system prompt first. Okay,
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
System prompt basically gives you the context of this particular AI. You are basically teaching the AI what it is like who are you, what you can do, what are your limitations, what are your capabilities. You're defining the scope, and this prompt has to be as extensive and elaborate as possible. We'll get to the system prompt in a second, but I'm just giving an overview.
Yeah.
Now coming to your question, right? With this kind of a programming thing, right? Where are we defining, Abhina? This is where we are defining, and we are calling these are the tools
Okay.
that is available for the AI engine. So you are basically going to call this list localities, list destinations. This is something that I added. We can probably even show it in the stream. Our own either they be used for another we can show in some time. But let's take show flights for example, right? This name is it can be anything. Okay, you can give show flights, you can give XYZ. It has no meaning for the AI. What the AI knows or what is very important for the AI is this description part. Okay, so list available flights in the UI and it lists three that matches the user's query.
Mm.
So now you're basically saying like this is a tool that you can use to the UI. You can use a show seat picker, you can use shows hotels and Madri.
Okay.
And in parameters, you are basically defining your response type. What happens there, Abhina? Now, when you say list available flights in the UI, list three that matches the user's query. Again, you have to note one more thing. This is not the prompt that goes to the AI engine. It is basically description about this particular tool. So tomorrow, when you're giving an input saying hey, what are all the flights available for me? Can you list like that, or can you show something like that? AI automatically picks the right tool it has in its toolkit, and then it it uses this particular object format or response type to give out the response over here.
I see. Okay. And how does it figure out that this is the tool to pick?
That is based on the description that you're giving. That's it. That's the mapping part.
Now that makes sense. Now that makes sense. So your description is what is being used to
Your code.
the
Yes.
intent. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Correct.
That is impressive. I'll be very
That
honest.
is really impressive,
That,
right? That's what I was putting in the group the other day. That's when I also figured I had this like okay, but the problem is it if you don't give this parameters object, right? What happens is what actually happens is your response is again free text. Okay.
mm,
So you cannot use that as another processing thing in the downstream. Like your parsing becomes very difficult. So what Gemini does it gives you an option to define the parameters like this.
mm,
I'm thinking what happens behind the scenes, Sabina. Probably this parameters object is clearly defined as well as, or it turns into some kind of a text where it says you have to give the departing city in a string format, you have to give the arrival city in a string format, right? And then this is going to be a string, and this is going to be, so this description is there, right? This is extremely important. Without this will not work.
makes sense. Makes sense.
So now the AI understands, okay, the arrival airport code, I have to put it in this particular attribute of the JSON object. And only this helps us to build the application. Otherwise, every time it's going to be a different format, it's going to be a different order, and you to find where exactly the departing or arrival airport code is going to be there, it's going to be a headache. But this is the extremely important part where you define the parameters.
So
And they are using this Zod again here for that.
yeah. So about that, I had a question about that. So looking at this, it looks like to me, at least to me, it looks like this code base is very tightly coupled with the Zod. So
Yes.
you can't if we don't use Zod, we're gonna have problems here. Then is that right?
I think without using Zod also we can give this a bin Nanikira, but
But there has to
I'm
be
not
a
really
format,
that deep.
if I'm not wrong, right? Yeah.
Yes, a particular data format has to be there, which I think I've already added as part of our. Just a second.
But how is this different from any other bot builder, like normal bot builders that you use for support and all?
So from a dialogue flow perspective, that is essentially a chatbot builder, right? Like when people talk about AI, in my mind, that was AI like 2 years ago. Chat like Dialogflow was the best. So how it is different, Abdin Vanda? In Dialogflow, you manually define what kind of requests that you might get, like what kind of
Yeah.
queries that customers might pose, and you also tell it what kind of responses you're supposed to give, and those are all free text, right? And the way it works is, see, there's one very important component there called named entities. So if you say if you're building a weather chatbot and you ask it, hey, what's the weather like in Boulder, let's say, right? It will figure out that Boulder is a location and then work on it. So the difference between that and this is you're very limited there. You only can glean information from the query and present text information, and that's all. Maybe depending on what you get, you can you can make an API call or write a webhook to do a certain task. But here you have a lot more flexibility, and I feel like just it figuring out what the intent is based on the description of the intent that we define is very powerful. So that this essentially enables us to build whatever the fuck we want without any
Yeah.
consequences, right? We can use this to browse the web fully, and your own custom code base, it's very cheap comparatively, apart, right, and everything. But when you write your own custom functions with these webhooks or anything in these chat interfaces, like the one in Dialogflow, you have to have your own serverless function which you pay for, and like you have to manage that service separately. But this is just one service which just integrates with Gemini cohesively, and you can just use it altogether. I see a lot of pros actually when using this called
But then you'll still have to pay for like Gemini API calls that you're making, so that is still money. That's still
complex
pretty expensive right now.
go down a lot, right? So if my chatbot, I wanted to see, if we're strictly talking about chat applications. If I want my chatbot to, I don't know, do like 10 to 15 tasks on its own by just queries, I have to have 15 webhooks written. Each
Mm.
webhook can only do one thing, right? But here it's just one single code base. You reduce the complexity by a lot. You get a lot of flexibility, right? That is very hard to get on these other platforms. And plus, most of these you can only build on top of their UIs. By the way, Dialogflow, and I think Amazon Lex, they give you their dedicated UI, and you build on their UI. So you're very
Yeah,
limited,
yeah.
right? But if you come here, you can use code, and you can literally write your own custom function to எனக்கு இந்த மாதிரி தான் ரெஸ்பான்ஸ் வரணும், எவனாவது இந்த மாதிரி கேட்கறானா don't respond this way அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு you can say there. It's very tough to do that, right? But yeah, that's basically what I would say the difference between that those set of products and AI products are. Wait, is it just me or can we not hear Ajit? Ajit, you're on mute. Yeah.
Am I on YouTube? Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So answering the question that you had on Zod, right?
Yeah.
This code, whatever you see on screen, is basically a snippet that they use it in uh, most probably Java, I guess, right? So
Hmm.
there also they are having some kind of a schema builder to create that particular object, right?
Mm.
So for example, if they want lat long to be given in a particular specific format and mapped against LAT key, like this is the equivalent that they have to do it in Java,
Got
right?
it. Makes sense.
So they are also creating an object, they're putting this. So what basically Zod does it makes it much more structured way for you to input rather than you creating your own JSON object, and it just much more looks good, readable way.
Understood. Understood. That makes sense.
I think it's not even Zod. Let me check. I think it's from the uh, Google or API in Anagram. Let me just check.
I'm pretty sure this is not Zod. Like, this is some Java code, but
Wait,
Z
wait.
dot and one it has to be Zod. La. That is Zod.
Yeah, it's from Zod. Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. Who doesn't use Zod anymore?
Everyone
It's
uses
it's the
nowadays.
standard.
Yep. So let's go back to day two, and then I think now only the other parts come, right? So where were we? We were here, right? Uh, Now it's very clear, like based on the intent, whatever you're saying, the intent part from a chat
Mhm.
perspective, you can actually map certain UI with whatever data that you're getting. So this message.display.props.summary will have the data that you defined in the format that you defined.
Mm.
So now you can use that data to show fill the input components, sorry, the UI components that you have created on the front end, right? So that's how this mapping works.
Understood. That makes a lot of sense. It makes so much sense.
Okay. So now for the going back to the AI part, let's say now you asked for flights and it is given flights. Let's do that on the UI as well so that we can see what is given, right? So I will go from here. I will not use the actual, the prompts that are already engineered for us. Let's go with the free text, right? I can just start with a simple hi. Is it working? Do we have? I think we got rate limited ones.
But how we never used it though.
I don't know. See, for some reason, it's not working. Uh, it's not working at this part, right? For me, locally, it's working. இங்க இருந்து it's not working actually. Not
Uh,
sure why.
okay, maybe local away you can run la.
Yeah, I can run. I'll start my changes whatever I have locally because that is related to
Got it.
what is it?
It says failed.
Yeah.
You're using the wrong version. Yeah.
Yeah, it's ready, right? Right.
Mhm.
Takes some time to get up and running, but yeah.
Yeah, I was actually curious as to why, because even the initial render, even the subsequent renders after, spinning it up still takes time locally.
Up there. I'm not sure
Um,
Yeah,
why.
yeah. Every time it takes time. They happen to me also. Every time I run it locally, it takes time.
for me, the middleware failed actually. Like when I ran it first, I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'll check that. But yeah,
See, Inga, let's while that's running, right? I will also finish the other part. So, Inga, from your UI, right?
Mhm.
Let's say you listed flight summaries, right? You basically gave a prompt and it figured out what is the right intent the user has, and then it is coming back and it's giving you data and it loads as part of your UI. Now your UI is also rendered with their expected data that the engine gave.
Yeah.
Now, basically you have these flights already listed to you. Now how do you send back the response or whatever request that you have again to the AI, right? So let's take the list flights component again, right? So we will be able to see what it has internally. One second.
Also, I think it compiled.
Yep. One second. So I'll put the application separately from the other stuff. Has it though? Yeah, it has compiled. Okay, so since I have not given an already pre-set up prompts for us, the AI goes to its original flow.
Mm.
How does it know like this is the original flow now? In your actions file, again coming to your system, or probably it's better showed over in our thing where I've documented it. So here you can see, right? Here
Mhm.
you're basically saying this is your flow. This is your general flow. Okay. And it says list holiday destinations based on a collection of books.
Okay. And that's the first thing that it asks for when you click on when you just say hi. And brother blipped again.
And this is really literally like natural language programming. like their evolution.
I know, right?
Exactly.
I'm pretty.
Basically, the programming language that you're using is English.
Hmm.
Yeah, like one step
So you're
forward
already
from
deploying
Python.
this. So what the AI does is it automatically knows like when user comes, so I'll have to list holiday destination based on a collection of books. It knows already, and based on that, it is saying like here's a list of holiday destinations based on the books you have read. Choose one to proceed booking a flight, right? So now I can interact with it in a different way. I can say no, I like, let's say, Jack Reacher books only.
Giving it an impossible choice.
So now it picks my destinations based on this. But I think it's failed to parse and give it. That's the problem. Now I have to, I can't really, like click and send my intent back to the engine.
Right.
So if my first query was that, I think this is one of the rarest cases I've seen it fail. Right. Before this, I've never encountered such things. So now you can see that it suggests me places from the Jack Reacher books, but now it's in a past format.
Okay. 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 I see.
And none of this is related to any code that I have written or the person who has created the template has written. So the response can vary from time to time. If now I can click, let's say I want to do something in Paris,
Hmm.
right? You can probably get to Paris. Paris, what was the.
So Varun and I kind of freaked out when we saw this, kind of because it like when you click on a flight, it asks for your credit card information. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
and it just came up with a random show me last four digits of a random credit card, and I do not know. And I was very concerned if it was actually my credit card information.
Yeah, I was asking Farhan to check it if it's actually his credit card information. What if it just, Google Chrome saves payment information, la?
Yeah,
Maybe அதெல்லாம் இருந்து
Yeah.
எடுத்துருச்சுன்னா அப்படியே.
I I do not use Google Chrome for saving passwords or credit card information, but I was still
Yeah, I never save credit card information on Google. That is weird, man.
honestly yes. Uh,
Actually,
Yeah.
actually they had in my previous company that by mistake the finance guy saved the CEOs, like I mean all the so at that point of time all the credit card, like all the online purchases that you make was the name on the credit card was the CEO's name.
okay.
And then so I had to make a purchase online, so they don't directly give you the credit card information. So you have to go to the finance team and they'll actually like physically input the credit card information on your computer and they'll make a purchase.
Mhm.
And like that guy actually saved the payment information on my computer. So I actually had the company's credit card information saved on my computer for a long time.
Oh my god, bro,
I was I was
you
very tempted to use it. I was like, what if I just use it for $1 million?
were sitting on a gold mine, brother.
They would have tracked me in like seconds.
I know, but still.
I think
Okay.
after that
So
they became smarter. They started using like prepaid credit cards.
Oh, seriously, okay, like Navan and stuff.
Yeah, so everybody gets a new credit card, so you
Uh,
can't really do stuff.
got it, got it, got it.
one more thing coming back to how building UIs for AI, right? You need to have a lot of fail-safe, fallbacks, defaults, all done on your UI, so your UI does not fail completely. So இங்க பார்த்தோன்னா there are already defined some default values for um, arrival and departing city and all of that, because just in case your UI is failing. I mean, this is not correct. This is not correct because you're basically disregarding user's input, whatever he has given, and you're showing him something. But at least you are showing him something different so user can restart his journey rather than failing abruptly in the middle. Interacting with this AI is like walking. You have to walk very carefully, right? You have to guide the user very carefully and bring him. So you basically put certain nets around the ledge all along.
Right. Right.
And you can one is the interesting part matter na concept. So usually what we do is on your on click function, on click you basically send a callback that is required to invoke another function.
Mm-hmm.
Here you basically do you basically write what needs to be done. So you will basically tell the UI, basically the user has selected this flight departing at this one and is arriving over here. And this is now proceed to select seats. So now this is your selection callback. There is no function name that you can directly invoke
This is
how
the
you
function.
how we usually do. This is the function itself. Function logic you have already written. And now I mean, you're not writing the function's logic. You're basically calling the function without a name. You're basically defining the params. All your params are in free text, and then you're sending it to the AI. And the AI knows what to function to call internally, and it will send you the response. So all your on clicks are tied with a prompt.
Okay. That makes sense. This is actually a
So
little.
building AI applications are sort of like fundamentally different, right? From building normal applications. It's not the
This
same.
this is actually very meta to me, right? It's like you just tell it what you want, even in code. Like usually, I just tell a Chat GPT what I want, and it gives me the code. Okay.
Yeah. So
Uh,
this is like if you had to do this normally, because I'm not a programmer, so if you have to do this normally, you'll have to have a database, right? Possibly store stuff somewhere and then fetch it from there and then show that to him.
The biggest problem with this is you need a format that is compatible with all of you. So when you have a database, right, you need to be aware of its schema. And when you're querying also, you have to get that in on all of that. When you put this AI in, right, the schema is kind of like diffused. It's thrown out of the picture. Now you can talk everywhere in English itself. And whenever you want alone, at the ends of this, you basically convert it into a schema so that you can process it for other stuff all along. So internally, it becomes like a huge misty cloud of how things are happening. Right? There's no schema. You lose the schema. You lose the sequential execution, like I said earlier. Right? You cannot literally put a debugger inside the AI and saying like, okay, this is what you're doing right now. This not doesn't happen like that. So it's all over the place, and it completely depends on what kind of. Let's say you are in the action files la pathana, you are basically given like or how many they are basically given like or 5 6 different actions this particular AI can do. Okay. Now imagine the AI is capable of the toolkit is about hundreds. Okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there is literally very small difference between each of the tools. Now you are leaving it to the AI's discretion to pick the best function or best tool for that particular situation. Right. And there's no explanation available for you or why AI chose that. Like there's no log or something that you can look at to debug it and
I
say,
think
hey, this is
eventually there
exactly
will be.
why.
I think eventually there will be like a debugger.
That is, we'll have to build something on top of. That's where the explainable AI and all of those things comes in. I think
Yeah.
where AI is able to explain why I did this.
That is true. But explainable AI, from what I understand of it, is not anywhere close to, or as not anywhere as close to or powerful as LLMs, right? At this point of time, at least, right? Because explainable AI is basically just models that you can very easily understand. Like think about a decision tree and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Random
It's
forest.
only like yeah, it's only like basic model like regression and stuff. It's not like
Exactly.
for LLM level.
Ex-
Because like you're thinking about like hundreds and thousands of parameters and neural nets and stuff.
Exactly. So, I
You
till
can't understand. The layer is just so deep that you can't understand what's happening at each layer.
correct till date, no ANN has been explainable so far, right? No artificial neural network has been explainable. Only these basic models, like you mentioned, were on, like only those are. So, but yeah, let's coming back to this. I do think explainable AI, maybe not explainable AI, but like we discussed earlier, an AI debugger is kind of the need of the hour because it's very scary to lose control, right? If something goes wrong, I can't go and debug it. It's not, how do I put this? If I have a bug in my product, I want to go. I want to be able to fix it that day, that night, right? I can't do it in this if this is the case. Granted, that bug won't be reproducible by many people because it depends on how uniquely somebody uses it. So again, you lose a lot of control. But at the same time, you introduce a lot
Because
of.
it won't give the same output, right? Like if Arjit gives a certain output, certain
Mhm.
input, and then the AI tells him something, it doesn't mean that if I try the same thing, it's going to give me the same output. So
True.
the output also varies from it's not programmatically defined.
I agree. I agree. But yeah, moving on.
So, what other things we found is like we saw how important this system prompt is, and this prompt helps the AI to stay on a track. Like at least you give a track and hope it stays. On the மாதிரி kind of design, right?
Mhm.
So you can give complete context of things to the AI via the system prompt. So in the root prompt, like if you see, right, one thing that these guys are doing is they are setting the date, the current date. They're basically interpolating, right?
Mhm.
And now that gives you an idea that you are not just limited to interpolate the date. You can interpolate almost everything over
Yeah.
here. For example, users current location. If you have access to their location via either the browser or via some kind of GPS from phone, whatever it is, you can input that over here, right?
Correct.
And user would like to book the flight out on May 12th. See, they have basically specified the departure date very clearly,
Mhm.
because if you don't specify a lot of things, then you're left with a lot of parameters and a lot of journeys to get, a lot of different pathways to complete the journey of getting the departure date and getting this one, getting that one, or being solid. Right. So அதனால இங்க they have basically fixed a lot of parameters, and then they have left only a few parameters to be gotten from the user during the interaction. In our case also, we can fix parameters, and whatever we want, we can get it from the user.
Mm.
Okay, so that's what I've added. Like depending on how much time left, we can slowly convert the static params into user-based inputs via UI. Like I would probably prefer a UI in which we already get the params like a form madri before itself. Okay, where
Mm.
your departure date and everything is already gotten, and then you say AI help me. அதுக்கப்புறம் வர்றது எல்லாமே user can interact with the results. If you
Mm.
are trying to capture the input itself via prompts அப்படின்னா, then I feel அங்க it becomes a little bit difficult for you to build the so I would follow such approach for building AI application where my user input is already sanitized, it's clean, and it's already in a format that I can feed directly into the AI.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
Okay, now, okay, this is part we don't need, I think, right? This one we can skip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, so we can go to the core feature set. Okay, so what do we want exactly, Abhina? Like we discussed a lot of things. We wanted a full blown calendar integration we were planning earlier, right? Before
Yeah.
that, I feel the AI's capabilities itself we are discovering now. Probably by the end where we have discovered the full capability of the AI, we might be able to do a lot more things which we didn't even think about. So Adanala, my focus was more on the core features of how this AI can be used for us to build the product that we want.
Mm.
My suggestion, the very high level flow diagram is basically going to be this. We are not going to have multiple interactions anywhere. It will be just UI that talks with the AI and the
Okay.
AI giving back UI responses, and we will allow at least couple of cycles of this. Like it's not like only one call, right? We'll allow users still to interact and finalize the journey based on the results. You know, AI is much more understanding once we ask more questions. ஒரு journey கொடுத்துட்டு இந்த journey இன்னும் எனக்கு better பண்ணுன்னு கேட்கும்போது it is able to do that. But on the first prompt itself, if I'm giving like give me the best journey, it's not able to understand what is the best journey when it does not even have journeys generated already. Okay, so you will have at least 2 to 3 cycles, I believe. Like the user will give an input. This input we will format it in a way that we want and send it to AI. And whatever text input that AI gives, we will change it into some JSON output, and then we will load it into our UI. Finally, when user says like I am finalized with this journey, what we need to do is we need to basically schedule all of this on their Gcal so that this journey does not go away. This person does not have to come back to the chat interface, look at what was the conversation they had earlier. But rather than that, you basically put this entire thing into their Gcal directly and it basically works. So that's the idea, simplified user flow that I thought we can go ahead with.
I agree. Yeah, this is what we had discussed earlier as well. It's that, right? But yeah, go on.
Okay, so now based on that simplified thing, I came up with the UI, right? Just some scribbled UI that we can actually use. Let's go further. Okay, so this I want to be the main UI screen. Okay, like this is going to be our chat interface, right? And we'll have some greeting and we'll have the user's profile, whatever they have logged in with over here, right? And we will have a calendar spinner on here. Like today will be here, yesterday, so that for every day they can have a different UI rather than using open AI's chat GPT. You'll get different conversations on your sidebar, right? Rather than going with that, we can have one conversation per day. So we can map this with a calendar day, Madri. So it's easier for you to schedule and do all of that. Hey, today I interacted this, tomorrow I can plan a different set of tasks and Madri, right? And then I have a free text input where I'm going to give my list of tasks directly as free text. Right? I don't want the user to give the tasks in a conversational flow, like I told you earlier. Right? It's better to capture input and directly give it to AI on user's behalf rather than AI asking the user to give me your tasks for the day, because you don't know where in the flow it will occur. So rather than leaving that to the AI, we can capture the user's tasks for the day. Okay. And then we can give build your journey. Based on this, what will happen is AI will give us 3 different journey cards, right? Like I told, it will have the business names listed 1, 2, 3 below, and it will plot the map points here. This image generation AI cannot do, of course, but based on the GPS coordinates of the business locations, what we can do is we can generate it on our end. We can build a separate service that does that for us, and then we can add it as part of the card, right? So you have three different cards that comes over here, right? When you click on this card, we can go to a detail modal pop-up, right? That basically says name of the business, what is the suggested time for you to go visit that, and you can have a book or let's say reserve and the Madri kind of action items for the user to perform. For example, if the user is going to a restaurant, right, you can have the booking reservation button embedded over here. Now this actually helps the business to convert customers rather than coming via different search engines and all of that. Now from AI itself, they can convert customers to their booking page. Or if you're going to a salon for a haircut or trimming your nails or something like that, you can make your reservation there saying like this time I can come there, like that. Okay, wow. So those things can be here in this detailed modal pop-up, and in the image will be in a much more detailed fashion over here. It's basically Google Maps image. When you hover, you will know what is this location and all of that. And this finalize or apply is the major CTA. When the user clicks on this entire schedule will be copied to their Google Calendar.
Got it.
Okay, so that's where the journey ends. Like I think if we are able to, like do this part, right? The fine tuning and all can come later. Like, hey, how can I, save more money, or how can I travel less distance, or how can I, do this in a lesser time? அப்படின்னா அது எல்லாமே can come via a God mode toggle. Let's have a God mode toggle that we can add later, where we can say like which checkboxes money. Hey, I want to optimize for time, distance, money. Right? You can have all of that, which can be part of your root prompt automatically. Like you can have multiple parameters that users can change, and I just want to hide it from the God mode, from the main UI, because it's more taxing for the user. He may not understand it in the first
Initial
you may
view.
not understand it at the first mode, right? So user once he uses and then he's accustomed, we can probably upgrade to a God mode where they have different kinds of things that they want. I want only within 250 meters of my home. Illana, build it around a particular set of fixed locations, right? And then you can have some. I even tried one variation where I taught the AI the traveling salesman algorithm, right? Basically, you explain it in words, and then the AI was able to give me like two, three different variations saying like this would be better in terms of cost, this will be better in terms of time and money. So we can teach AI different algorithms, and
Mm.
those can be different drop downs in the UI for user to pick and all. So those will be fun projects to work on, but for the end users, I think it's better to hide it under a God mode, and then we can just finalize some mode. It can add to your user. Like, how is this different from a normal calendar application? Someone can I think it will be and the third thing when we show the output from AI, they'll be able to understand.
Understood. Right.
So this is I just wanted to have one more landing page because I think historically landing pages have worked out good for us, even from Zapping and other hackathons that we went. So let's
Yeah.
have a landing page, which basically, you know, from where the user can come, because the landing page is a good real estate for us to explain what this does. Data இங்க வந்தானா user will get confused on what he needs to do. So an explanation part, how this works, or a full screen video background that runs, right? All of that you can have it in the landing page, so that by the time this guy comes into the journey builder, you can have the user knowing what he needs to do. So it's basically a two-page application now.
Got it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I
It
understand.
makes it simple, yeah.
Also, let's wrap up soon because it's been running for an hour and a half. Also,
Okay.
right.
So
So
shall we
this
just
is,
show the that output and then wrap it up on the day
yeah.
three?
Let's, we can take the work split up offline. I think.
Fine.
Right. I just don't want this to be too long.
Okay, another 10 minutes we will wrap
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
So
That makes sense.
this is what I tried with the system, right? I basically gave this input, which
Uh-huh.
basically has some details what I want to currently do, right?
Yeah.
I don't know whether this counts as personal information, but yeah, it's okay.
That's okay. It's fine. HSR is huge, bro. HSR is huge.
Yes. In user input, I just gave this, right? And inge vanda I have basically given, this is not like a plan that I already have in my head. It was a rough plan down. Okay, so this is
What happened?
He got interrupted.
Oh, okay. Fine
Oh,
then.
so this is something he's already tried.
Yeah, looks like it.
So he changed the system prompt also.
So this is the user input.
Oh, that's the output also, man. Like, okay, this is the output. There are several highly rated salons considering the time recommendations. How does it know all of this? Do these places actually exist?
I mean, Green Trends is up. I'm pretty sure there is one in HSR.
I
So
mean, green trends is there everywhere. But
exactly, which opens
no,
at
no.
9.
These are legit businesses. I can like I have verified them. I know that these all
oh, okay.
exist actually,
So it's not
and
just
at least
hallucinating stuff.
yeah.
Have you had a case where it hallucinated?
Pretty sure.
No, not so far I have not had X. இப்போ நம்ம பார்த்தோம்ல ஒரு கேஸ் where it was not able to give the inputs past the way. அதுதான் வந்து first time I'm seeing it like kind of struggling.
I think they've just like programmed it to not answer, like in case it's thinking of hallucinating.
How do they detect that? That's hard, right?
Yeah, it's like only for this particular use case. Anything beyond that is just like out of bounds, not for this.
Possible, possible.
But even then, it's hard. I mean, pretty sure people will find ways to jailbreak.
That is true. இது ஜெமினா எப்படி ஜெயில் பிரேக் பண்ண போறாங்கன்னு எனக்கு தெரியல.
But
Okay,
this is
so
pretty good, man. Like, nice.
so it actually it talks about very specific prompts also it's able to handle, and also
Okay.
it is able to like நான் வந்து 6 p.m. கொடுக்கறத 4th கொடுத்துட்டு 6 o'clock பண்ண ஐ மீன் 4:30 p.m. பண்ண வேண்டியதை 6th கொடுத்தாலும் it's able to schedule, right? And this is something that we all do. Like our plan does not go in a sequential way, but when you're scheduling in a calendar, you have to give it in a sequential way. So இப்போ வந்து இது வந்து this is not I have not defined any output format for the AI to give me. Now I just wanted to see what it is gurgling out, like what it is talking about, right? என்னென்னலாம் வந்து சொல்லுது அப்படின்னு. So it is able to pick up recommendations அப்படின்னா it is also able to look at options now. Okay, I basically told giving it me the recommended output, it is looking at different options. Right? It always says there are a few options nearby, but it is stopping itself as part of the output because the original prompt I told just give me recommended stuff. அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி. Right? So it is able to see like for example this one, consider getting your car washed while you're at the salon or grocery shopping so you don't have to make a separate trip, right? So you can optimize for time over there.
Yeah.
Just how it is going to do, how it is going to how we make sure that it includes this as part of the output format is going to be the challenging part. We have to define the schema in such a way that it is able to give that in an optimized way. இப்போ
Mm.
இது எனக்கு கொடுத்துருக்கிறது வந்து ஒரு வெனிலா அவுட்புட்னு தான் சொல்லுவேன்.
Free text.
ஓகேவா? And it yes very very simple.
So now, right, like based on whatever you have shown from the code base and from this output, right? So right now it's very easy for me to visualize a way to just make this work. Why do we, for example, right now, like just for the bare minimum version, let's say, right? Now that we know that we can manufacture or shape our outputs, right, with Zod, now it becomes a lot simpler
Yes,
and call a Google Calendar API instead of using LangChain or building a complicated system there. Just call it, and based
you
on
can
the
do that.
we can that would be our bare minimum MVP, right?
Correct.
And
Correct. We can still call. With this response itself, we can call GCal. Update
exactly,
directly.
That's what I'm thinking, because right now it becomes very simple. The only problem, like you said, is defining the proper response schema, right? There we have to be a little mindful, but I'm pretty sure with a little bit of effort, that's not going to be too hard, right? And
Yes, yes. We are almost there now. So my
yeah, yeah,
opinion.
yeah. So okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. This is a very powerful tool. Okay, okay, yeah, go on. Like, just not didn't mean to interrupt, but go on.
No, no, that's basically it, right? This is what it's able to give, and we can probably get the first version to working, like you said, with end-to-end GCAN integration. Also, we can do in the next, like whatever we are releasing, right?
Yeah,
And then we can fine tune it for optimizing, adding more value, see where all it can add more value, how it can promote upcoming businesses,
yeah,
how we can tell. One more idea that I had was. um or this is basically like me understanding
yeah, yeah.
like how we are interacting with it. You can read through it if you want, right?
Yeah, no, I think we went through this
We
actually.
are we are cool, right? Okay, good. Fine.
Yeah, I think we need to go through this too much. You gave a good.
Okay. So one thing that we can do is, if we are allowing AI to call the Google Maps directly, right?
Yeah,
I mean, we are not even allowing. The AI does it on its own. Like it's calling from where எனக்கு தெரியல எங்க இருந்து இது இவ்வளோ டேட்டா எடுக்குதுன்னு எனக்கு தெரியல. But what you can do is alternatively, you can have a file or you can basically have a data set of all the businesses that is there in HSR, right? With multiple params, with a cleaned data, okay, wow, with proper reviews, proper service offerings, and proper, everything, description and all, location and everything, and
uh,
uh,
your voice.
model, and you can train on that. Okay, wow. So it becomes even more powerful when you do such things because now it is hyper focused and it can give you exact locations and it can give you exact details, whatever you need. But out of the box, வந்து அது இவ்வளவு நல்லா perform பண்ணுதுங்கிறது is really impressive for me. Like I still can't get over that fact.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I so I'm pretty sure it works the same way that ChatGPT knows everything and doesn't have access to the internet, right? Uh,
No, apparently I read somewhere that ChatGPT is actually accessing the internet. Like even
okay,
if you don't know it, like in the background, it's actually accessing the internet. I read a post on Twitter. I mean, I'm not sure how true it is,
okay, okay, okay.
but I think it is true because I asked like some random song, Tamil song. I asked about a random Tamil song to ChatGPT, and it actually answered properly. Like,
விசில் போடு கேட்டிங்களா?
இது
விசில் போடு கேட்டிங்களா?
இல்ல விசில் போடலாம், man. Some other song.
Ah, fair, fair. Okay,
It's
fair.
not even that
ஏய்
famous.
புதுசா புதுசா இப்போ ஒரு விசில் போடுன்னு ஒரு பாட்டு வந்திருக்குடா அது தெரியுமா?
அதுதான்
புதுசா புதுசா கேள்விப்பட்டேன் ஆனா.
ஆஹ்,
ஆஹ்
எல்லாரும் கல்விக்குறி ஊத்துறாங்க.
அவன்
கிரேட்டஸ்ட்.
வந்து சிஎஸ்கே விசில் போட சொல்றான்.
சிஎஸ்கே விசில் போடலாம் பழைய அதெல்லாம்
அதை பத்தி
நெக்ஸ்ட் லெவல் அதெல்லாம்.
பட் கோட் விஜய் படத்துல இருந்து, விஜயோட கடைசி படத்துல இருந்து ஒரு
நல்லா இருக்காது. எப்படி இருக்கு பாட்டு?
ஐ வில் லெட் யூ டிசைட் ஃபார் யுவர் செல்ஃப்.
அந்த ஒரிஜினல் விசில் போர்டு மாதிரி வராது. அது நெக்ஸ்ட் லெவலா இருக்கும் அது.
ஆமா, that is true.
சிஎஸ்கே ஆந்தம்.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we did, and we will like customize it and how users are interacting. We can see. அதான் என்னோட goal, like customize prompt, text output. I'm not going to build any UI components for the output as of now. And
Okay.
then whatever is finalized, we'll have one button that basically schedules it as part of your GCAD. Then we can go and add the in this whatever we decided in terms of the UI and all.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah, bro. Like, this is good. I really like how the stream has the journey of the stream was actually really nice. It's very easy to understand. This was more of a KT session for me, so I'm happy.
Yeah, even for me.
அப்படியா?
uh,
நான்
yeah.
நினைச்சேன் we were all over the place அப்படி
No,
இல்லையா? It's okay.
I really like the direction in which this thing went. I think we planned it really well this time.
Okay, nice,
But,
nice.
okay, so I'm gonna end the stream யாரோ 2 பேர் பார்த்துட்டு இருக்காங்க. அந்த 2 ஜீவன்களுக்கு நன்றி. யாருன்னு
Thank you.
தெரியல. வந்தவங்களுக்கும் தேங்க்ஸ்.
தேங்க் யூ.
and டாடா.
நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
Yeah.
Bye.